All right, now thousands of Kenyans walked to work this morning following a paralysis in the transport sector because only a handful of matatus were in service across the country. This is, of course, because of the new tough rules aimed at streamlining the public transport sector. We'll have details of that coming your way shortly in this bulletin, but do look forward to that story.
That's right. Let's start with some bizarre where there was drama at Tivani village that is in Trans Nzoia County when a man dug his own grave and tried to bury himself alive.
Now, the man claims he has marital problems that he cannot solve, and thus going to heaven is his only hope.
Here's Najma Ismail with that report.
This is what residents of Tivani village in Trans Nzoia County woke up to this morning. This young man had dug his grave overnight as his wife and children were asleep and was desperately trying to bury himself alive. Neighbors were shocked as they looked at the man, fearing he had gone insane. His wife claims that her husband has abandoned his responsibilities.
Nimeficha huyu mwanaume kama yani nimemfunika uchi yake yote mimi kama mwanamke nimejaribu juu na chini kumfunika uchi wake wote lakini ninaona ni kama ananidharau.
The man, a tout, claims that he has had enough quarreling with his wife and the only way to end his misery is to end his life.
Watu wamekuwa kisosana na tumekuja mara nyingi hapa kuja kusuluhisha mzozo kati yao.
However, after several hours of cajoling, the man came out of his grave and elders urged youth to plant a banana tree to ward off evil spirits.
Ni sababu ya kwamba watoto pia alafu wasidi kuendelea kuishi. Hata kama kutakuwa na neno ingine isipatikane tena.
Mke wako ametenda dhambi.
Later on, a pastor arrived at the couple's home to try and calm the situation.
Nilifika mapema nikula sapa kwa sababu yangu kwa sababu ya watoto. Nikatu njaa hivyo.
The young man was also ordered to take a bath at a nearby river and slaughter a goat to expel bad omen. Najma Ismail, KTN.
Totally agree. Maybe prayers will help the man out. But let's quickly give you an update of the latest we had yesterday at 7:30. A blast in Nairobi's 11th Street, Eastleigh, that claimed the lives of 6 people and injuring 31. Today we do have a statement from the Ministry of Interior and Coordination and National Government. Joseph Olelenko is the Cabinet Secretary, and he issued this particular statement to newsrooms earlier on, indicating that he termed the incident as an act of cowardice perpetrated against innocent and peace-loving Kenyans who are going about their normal activities, and he also condemned it as being barbaric, promising that immediate action has been taken. He also reported that so far 657 suspects have been apprehended in the Eastleigh area. Also, that operation will continue until all criminal suspects and perpetrators of this terror are brought to book. He terming the incident as that of terror. But a quick reminder is that 657 people have been arrested following last night's blast in Eastleigh that claimed the lives of 6 people, leaving 31 injured and with 6 still admitted in hospital. The Cabinet Secretary for Interior saying that the operation will continue until all criminal suspects are arrested and brought to book.
Now, following an agreement between Cabinet Secretaries and the President in Nanyuki, they are going to be giving us their scorecards of what they are doing or have been doing in their ministries and what they intend to do. Yesterday, we did see a group of Cabinet Secretaries come out to give us their scorecard. And today, that continues. Rita Tinina is still on that beat, our senior reporter, and she's going to be bringing us up to speed with what happened today. Rita.
Well, indeed, today was the second day of the briefings by the Cabinet Secretaries. Cluster 2 of the Cabinet. Remember, the Cabinet has been divided into 4 clusters. Yesterday was cluster number 1. Today was cluster number 2. This is the cluster that is chaired by Mining Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala, and which also brings together the Ministries of Energy and Petroleum, Transport and Infrastructure, the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology, as well as the Ministry of Commerce, Tourism, and the East African Affairs. So we heard from either Cabinet Secretaries or permanent principal secretaries from those ministries. In the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, the Cabinet Secretary, Davis Chirchi, is not in the country. He was represented here by the Principal Secretary, and the brief from the Ministry of Energy The ministry is saying that it is working to reduce the cost of energy. It says it is working to improve the numbers of customers who are being connected to power, saying that in the last 1 year, 330,000 new customers have been connected to power. Also saying that several primary schools throughout the country have been connected to the national grid, as some have been connected to solar power. From the Ministry of Commerce, Tourism and East African Affairs, it was represented at the briefing today by the Cabinet Secretary, Phyllis Kandie. The Cabinet Secretary is saying that one of the greatest achievements by the ministry is the introduction of the single East African Community Tourist Visa, as well as the introduction of IDs as travel documents, despite issues that have been raised regarding the security of enabling travelers use their IDs as travel documents. She also said that domestic tourism increased in the last 1 year to 41% from 37%. And the ministry says in the coming year it is working to diversify its traditional source tourism markets, and it will be focusing on markets such as the Middle East, India, and as well as China. One of the challenges for the ministry, according to the Cabinet Secretary Phyllis Kandie, is the issue of travel advisories as well as terror attacks in the last 1 year. The Cabinet Secretary blaming on the reduction of tourism numbers. In the last 1 year, international tourist arrivals fell by 7%. From the Ministry of Mining, Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala was here to give the briefing, and he says in the coming year, the ministry will be hoping that mining activities will contribute at least 3% of GDP. He also said that he is hoping, and the ministry is putting in place measures to ensure that the country can raise at least 1 billion shillings from mining. From the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, on this day that the new regulations take effect, the Cabinet Secretary is not in the country. Engineer Michael Kamau, he was represented at the briefing today by the two principal secretaries in the ministry, that is Nduva Muli as well as Engineer John Musonik. And those two principal secretaries telling the media here of their achievements and challenges in the last 1 year. They spoke of the new roads that have been built or rehabilitated. Nduva Muli speaking of how now it is easier to clear cargo at the port of Mombasa, saying that now it takes only 6 days for traders to clear cargo, down from 7 days, and that the port now is able to handle 22.3 million tons of cargo, up from 21.9 million tons. Tomorrow, the third cluster of the cabinet will be giving their briefs here. This is a cluster that will be headed by the government's constitutional and legal affairs advisor, Abdikadir Mohammed, and it is a cluster that will be bringing together the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, as well as Defense, Foreign Affairs. The Attorney General will also be here together with the National Treasury Cabinet Secretary. Edith.
Well, thank you very much, Rita Tinina, for that update. Obviously, a lot of information coming in from various ministries. We'll be interrogating what they're telling us in our subsequent bulletins. Do stay tuned for that. Right now, though, let's revisit a story we heard earlier about the transport sector, as thousands of Kenyans were left to walk to work this morning following a paralysis in the transport sector. Now, only a handful of matatus were in service across the country as the new tough rules aimed at streamlining public transport came into effect. Betty Kialo brings us a look at the current situation on the roads around the country.
It was D-Day for public service vehicles to comply with the tough road safety regulations. And as predicted, residents from different parts of the country were unfortunately on the receiving end. Thousands of commuters who are on their way to work waited for hours at various bus stops with no matatus in sight, with many opting to take the agonizing option of either walking to their destinations or taking the train. In Voi, border operators made a kill as a result of the paralysis, charging commuters double price to get to their destinations. Residents in Kajiado also bore the brunt of the matatu wars, with school-going children being left stranded at bus stops in the county. Most of the matatus that have still not complied with the new regulations remain parked, with owners lamenting that they needed more time. By yesterday, only about 6% of the 100,000 matatus that ply the roads daily had been cleared by the Motor Vehicle Inspection Unit. Today, many matatu owners joined long queues in the last-minute rush to install the new devices that include tamper-proof digital speed governors. Director of Motor Vehicle Inspection Unit Jared Wangai blamed the operators, saying they had been given enough time to ensure their vehicles had complied with the new rules. Betty Kialo, KTN Newsdesk.
We continue giving you updates on last night's blast, and police last night arrested 300 people in a soup following a grenade attack in Islay Estate that killed 6 people and wounded several others. Those arrested are being held in various police stations in the city.
Contingent from the General Service Unit cordoned off the scene of last night's explosions in Islay as the curious public milled around the scene. Last night, police carried out a swap and arrested several suspects to assist with investigations. There are conflicting reports on the source of the blast. Some witnesses say the explosions were at a store and a gas and food stall.
Lori ya ile inafanana kama ile nazokota takataka ndio alitokea kile kona. Ametusimamia hapa malango. Tunaangalia hivi hiyo gari. Mimi naona mwangaza inatokea hapa. Mimi nafikiri kama tairi inapasuka pu na mwangaza. Bakale mimi naona watu nakimbia. Watu walipokimbia, mimi naanza kukimbia. Kusema wacha nikimbie, mimi naanguka pale. Naona hiyo gari amandoka anatena analipua pale. Ile hoteli
tulisikia sitima ilikosa. After kitu kama 5 minutes tukasikia mlipuko. Tukadhania ni transformer. Na ile ya kuna transformer pale karibu 12 Street. Na watu wakasema ni transformer. Lakini kitu baada ya dakika 3 barabara hii Second Avenue watu walikuwa na njaa bio. Bio. Watu wajui ni nini, watu wanasema ni transformer. Tukakaa sasa ripoti ikatoka pande hii tukaambiwa ni bomu.
The blast came a day after a suspected terrorist died on Sunday when an improvised explosive device he was assembling exploded. Residents are now living in fear.
Na sasa hatuoni vizuri hapa Islay. Mambo imekuwa ngumu.
Watu wasema Wasomali ndio wanafanya hivyo Wasomali. La.
A section of residents have urged the government to carry out a thorough search in Islay and flush out criminal elements out to spread terror.
Hatuwezi sema kabila gani, lakini hii watu baka kaguliwa kabisa. Najua sasa hii manyumba yao yasijia. Project zao wanakuwa wamefunga. Nyumba amefunga.
Hata serikali pia huwezi chua. Hata wewe mwenyewe huwezi chua. Mtu anakula chakula haiko karibu yako. Nani anajua? Ziko watu tu wanataka tu fita.
The government has placed security forces on high alert in Nairobi and Mombasa after police last month intercepted a top-range vehicle with 6 improvised pipe bombs, which police believe was to be used in a terror mission. Patrick Amimo, KTN.
Right, a quick update on that is that we do know now that 657 people have so far been arrested regarding that particular attack, and 31 is the number of those injured. This is, of course, according to a statement from the Ministry of Interior and Coordination, Joseph Olelenku's ministry, saying 657 people have so far been arrested, with 31 being the number injured. Also, the statement says that this particular operation will continue until all those who took part in this are brought to book. Right, moving on, a somber mood engulfed Karati village, where the body of a teenager was retrieved from River Karati. The teenager, who was epileptic, is said to have gone missing over the weekend, causing worry among his family. The body was then found floating in the river. It is still unclear how he drowned, or rather the drowning occurred. Now, a man is also said to have been washed into a dam in a nearby Gitwamba River. The unfortunate events follow raging floods in the area over the weekend.
Usiku wa mawili, usiku wa Jumamosi na usiku wa kuamkia leo, tukimtafuta na jana yote baada ya kupata ujumbe kwamba alitoroka makao siku ya Jumamosi jioni.
We suspect he was drawn into this dam, and for 3 days divers have come to no avail due to the heavy siltation in the dam.
Elsewhere, governors and MCAs continue to give us a scorecard of what exactly they've been doing for 1 year, also taking stock of the challenges and the opportunities that abound in the county government or system of government. And in Mombasa today, that particular conference is happening. Fadi Omondi joins us live from the Leisure Lodge in Mombasa. Fadi, what's the program like today and what do they intend to achieve?
Good afternoon, Bonnie. As you mentioned, we're here at the Leisure Lodge in Kwale County for the prelude to the governors, the Devolution Conference organized by the Governors Council. This day, it is all about preparation. It is almost all systems go from the gate right where the conference will be held tomorrow, and that is where I am standing now. There have been a few people already checking in, lots of vehicles with that familiar green number plate to show that the county officials are checking in. It's going to be a very good day or week for the hotels, considering this is actually the low season before Easter, but over 2,000 guests streaming into Kwale County to celebrate devolution, confront the challenges, and also see the gains which have been made. And towards that end, as I mentioned yesterday, this is going to be a bit different. We even have the governor of the state of Lagos, Nigeria, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, coming in to give an insight of exactly how devolution, as it is, has worked in that Western African country. And to give us an insight of exactly what's going to happen this time round is the host governor of Kwale County, Mr. Salim Mvurya, who has made time to join us this afternoon. Good afternoon and thank you. Now, 2 weeks ago, there was a devolution conference, and today or this week again, there'll be another devolution conference. What's different this time?
First of all, this conference is very different from any other that has been done before. One is it brings on board everybody who is supposed to be implementing devolution, ranging from the county governments, the governors, senators, county assembly members. We also have the Senate, the speakers of the Senate, and other constitutional institutions. So it brings a mix of participants also from the international level. And basically here what we are going to do is not a workshop mode, because this conference has been preluded by a number of activities in the counties where they have done their own reflections. And we are going to have a dialogue, contrary to what people think that we have workshop presentations. This one is going to be a dialogue on the real issues. In fact, we have thematic areas where participants will be able to share the practice of devolution, the challenges, and see how we move as we go along as Kenyans. This workshop also aims to influence policy. There are a number of issues that has been challenging through dialogue and through the various discussions that we are going to have here in the conference. Then we'll also be able to identify policy issues that we need to take up, not just at the national level, but also at the county level. So it's a completely different ball game. It's not a situation where just people talk in a room, but we have made sure that participation across the board is going to be realized. We also, expect a number of people to share their experiences across the world to inform, the devolution implementers in Kenya. So it's completely different.
Let me just cut to that. You say they're going to have people also from around the world to discuss the issues there. And to this end, you are inviting the governor of Lagos State, Nigeria, to come and give the experiences. What do you expect to learn from him?
We expect to learn very practical issues that they have gone through, in Nigeria, because Nigeria have had governors, before Kenya. And we expect that those practical challenges, practical accomplishments that they have done in that country relating to devolution, then is going to inform this workshop. Not only that, we will also be able to learn the functions of a governor in Nigeria, and also in Kenya, so we can make some comparison.
Now, finally, as you're going down of the conference, you say you're going to celebrate the challenges and also celebrate the gains made and confront the challenges. In your own assessment, devolution 1 year down the line, is it succeeding or is it failing? Because the Governor's Council has been very critical of the central government and Parliament towards the implementation of the same. What's your assessment? How successful or how have we failed as Kenya?
I think we have succeeded as Kenyans in implementing devolution. And I think one of the areas that I would really cite is the fact that Kenya, for the first time, you look at the diversity of our potential in counties. It has come through devolution. If we didn't have devolution, we wouldn't know even the kind of resources available in counties like Kwale, Turkana, and also in terms of service delivery, you find that now citizens can be able to access more services in education, in agriculture, and in many other sectors. I also understand that within the process of implementing devolution, we have had a national debate on a number of issues, which actually has been challenging, but I think it's part of the process to build the foundation for devolution in Kenya. So in my own assessment, I think we are on the right track as Kenyans, but I think as we move forward, we also need to be very progressive in our debates so that we don't necessarily challenge those who are willing and are passionate to implement devolution. So I'm looking forward to this workshop, and I'm asking everybody to enjoy the diversity of the South Coast here in Kwale County, so that then apart from the workshop, we can also be able to profile the county in terms of what we can offer in tourism and investment opportunities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salim Vuria. That is the Governor of Kwale County giving us exactly what to expect when the conference begins tomorrow, runs all the way to Saturday the 5th. KTN will be on the ground to give you the lowdown on everything that happens. A lot of discussion we expect to bring to you, exclusive interviews, plus an unparalleled coverage of the Devolution Conference from the Leisure Lodge. My name is Ferdinand Omondi. Back to you, Bonnie.
Many thanks, Fadi. And of course, the big question is what next after this piece of these conversations that are happening at the Leisure Lodge. We also do know there'll be lessons from Nigeria. We'll be bringing you all that as and when it unfolds.
Welcome back to KTN Newsdesk. We're glad you're still watching.
Right, Kenya and the Netherlands continue to share a cordial bilateral relationship, with trade and investment relations between the two countries deepening in recent years. In particular, Dutch investment in agriculture and horticulture have helped boost strongly the local employment sector. During a courtesy visit to the Standard Group earlier today, the Dutch ambassador to Kenya, Joost Reindjes, stated that his country will continue cooperating with Kenya despite security concerns.
We have about 4,500 Dutch citizens here, so with the one but largest group of Europeans in Kenya, and you see activities of those Dutch people and Dutch companies in many sectors, including the multinationals like Philips and Shell and KLM and Heineken, of course, famous for its beer. KLM owns 26% of the shares of KQ, and they cooperate very closely, the two airlines. Of course, we have to say that security is a worry. We know what happened yesterday evening in Eastleigh, and Westgate has not been forgotten, of course. And we stand ready to fully cooperate with the Kenyan authorities in terms of security.
After months of talk and anticipation, Jambojet finally took its inaugural flight from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to Kisumu International Airport at 6:45 a.m. today. The airline has 3 Boeing 737-300 aircrafts flying to Mombasa, Kisumu, and Eldoret from its hub at the JKIA. Jambojet charges less than 3,000 shillings for the flights based on seat availability. Being low-cost airlines, it features no luxuries associated with legacy airlines. Now, Kenya's first budget airline aims to carry 600,000 passengers in its first year and triple that within 4 years by offering cheap fares on a continent where air travel is among the world's most expensive.
This is for Jambojet. Are we ready? Yeah! When I say Jambo, you say what we are planning.
Right, we're just about to bring this to a landing, but not before we give you your feedback on our Twitter handle at KTN Newsdesk and top stories that you've been following for you. has, of course, been regarding the transport crisis and an update on the last night's blast in Italy. And Mwinzi Joseph says, oh no, imagine from Ferry to Ukunda, no matatus. I thought it was a joke of the day, Fool's Day. Right, and we have Celia KR who says 657 arrested in regards to bombing. Is it random, desperate arrest? That is the question they are asking.
Thank you for all your feedback on this show. Let's now give you your Did You Know fact. Did you know there's a religion called Christian atheism? Yep. Apparently, practitioners believe in essentially the same things as traditional Christians, except that the Bible is completely metaphorical, and God or Jesus is actually an allegory of human morality rather than a real being.
Christian atheism?
Yeah.
It's like black, white jeans. Okay, something like that. My name is Bonitunya. It's the first day of April. I will see you again in the evening for business.
My name is Edith Kimani. Good afternoon.